Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Financially Fit. This is our fourth episode. I'm your host, Jaylene Herrera.
And I'm your co-host, Chris Reyes. And today you see Scooby Doo? No, he's our podcast director, Rudy motherfucking Sanchez.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, my boy?
No, it's good to be here.
Good to
I'm usually
be
behind the camera, but today,
He's behind the scenes making all of this
Yes.
work. He's
Yeah,
on
guys,
it.
he makes the magic happen here. And guess what? Today we're going to be talking about financial horror stories.
Nice.
Ooh.
But before that,
Yeah.
tell us, bro, what's your background? What do you do?
So, I just like everybody, I'm trying to get out of the rat race. I'm trying to find ways to not work for the rest of my life.
That's true.
And I
I-
feel like a lot of this journey happened during COVID. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people saw kind of what was going on during COVID, and I feel like that was kind of like a shift in my life where I was like, the next day you die and like you didn't even live the life that you
Yeah.
dreamt of. The life that you
COVID?
deserve.
Yeah, COVID was a reality check
Yeah.
to a lot of people.
And I was actually in school during COVID, but I did see a lot of like firsthand, like, cases that were really, sad, the bad stuff.
Yeah, working in the
everybody was,
medical
talking
industry,
about.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I realized that like it is a passion of mine, but it's hard to keep up with your passions when, there's a burden of like, oh, I have to be here because I have to pay bills.
Yeah.
I have to be here because, if I don't, then I'm going to be homeless.
Yeah.
So I
That's
feel like
true.
a lot of my journey comes from just, self growth, like trying to slowly improve myself. every
Self-taught.
day. Yeah. A lot
YouTube
of
University.
stuff. YouTube.
Yeah. And I think
got 3 diplomas.
I think we've all been there. We've all been in that situation. And it's true, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, but you have to take that leap of faith because nobody's going to do it for you or for your
Exactly.
family. So tell us a little bit, what are you doing now?
So right now I do have a couple ventures. So I have my full-time job. I'm a respiratory practitioner. And then I also have a fitness app called Vital Fitness,
Go follow
where
it.
the idea is like, people spend hundreds of dollars on a personal trainer when they could get all this information, for a lower price, and a lot of what we do there is just workout plans that you could do in 30 minutes, that you could do 3-month plans, that you can do, in a lunch break, so that's what we got right now. And then obviously the podcast is something that we're growing right now that we want to eventually, scale, get more viewers, get more, interactions.
Just grow it.
Get
Yeah.
canceled.
No, we're not going to
Not
get
get
canceled.
Just once.
Well,
Okay.
so talk to us a little bit about what is something that really made you realize that life is hard. Maybe like a horror story that you've had in the past or that you've seen other people do or something. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I'll tell you a story. So not even like a story that I've witnessed, but I've heard. And it was this older guy that I knew that he was like old, like really old. He was like in his last, years of life. And he had so many regrets that he was like, you know what,
What? Did you hear my
You
stomach?
burped was that your stomach or you burped?
No, it was my stomach.
I was like trying to tell the story.
I was like, shh, shh.
know.
And then Jay Lee just started laughing. I was like,
I know,
hold on,
I
he's
was
telling a
like,
story.
I know.
Wait, hold on, guys. Cut. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm really bad at holding my laugh.
I
Like when
know.
something's funny,
It's
oh,
okay.
you know my one.
We can pause it.
Alright,
I think we're good though.
but
It's
let's
okay. We can roll it.
Yeah,
we
just
can
go
have it
back.
on there.
let's go
I know,
back.
I was
So
tell- I
let
was telling
me
myself-
start back from the story part.
This was
We'll
your
just
fault.
cut.
I know.
Your
I was like, oh shit. Because I kept looking, I was trying not to look
I
at you.
know. I'm
'cause
like,
I knew
Jay
I was
Lee,
gonna
hold
start
on.
laughing
He's telling
too.
a story.
I couldn't hold it in. All right, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm
No,
gonna
you're
cry.
good. Push the mic a little bit forward. Yeah.
I'm like, right.
You're
Or I'll
You're
put.
like this now.
Oh, I put.
Chris,
You're right here.
estaba bien loud. Like,
I know.
swear
I
you
went
thought
over
we
here and
could
like,
hear it.
brr. I'm
And
like,
I thought you burped. I was like, damn.
are you on the podcast?
Yeah, I was like in the middle of
It's
the
like,
podcast. I
wow,
was like, wow.
Chris really don't care. And then I see Chris like this.
I'm like,
He grabs his stomach and like pushes it in.
I'm like.
Funny.
All right, guys.
Okay.
All right.
Alright, that
So
was
the
blooper.
horror story about
Okay.
your life.
Financial
Okay.
financial horror story.
Okay.
Financial horror
So
story.
I'll rephrase it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Chris.
And Rudy.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Rudy. So go ahead and tell us about a financial horror story that you've had in your life.
So financial horror story. I feel like, drowning in debt is something that.
Ooh, that's a good one.
What's,
A lot of people be on that, and it's
I
scary.
think there was like a statistic of like, it was like 80% of Americans have like $40,000 in debt or
In
something.
debt
like
on average, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
And
crazy.
so-
But you know what? Like, I also think debt could be good to a certain extent. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you see everybody with new cars, with homes and stuff. And most times, I mean, they do get in debt to get those things. Yeah, they have to pay a monthly payment for it, But I think there's like good debt where it makes you more money. But there's also the bad debt. And I think that's maybe a little bit that you're going to touch on, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you consider bad debt?
So bad debt, I'm talking about like credit cards.
Yeah.
that
Ooh.
you, like,
Credit cards would be part of it.
Especially because they make you sign that so easy. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, you want 40% off? Just sign right here. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay. And I get $200.
Yeah, like retail stores and stuff like
Yeah.
Is it just a
Yeah.
credit score? You have a
Yeah.
credit score? Boom.
And nobody actually teaches you, like, hey, you know what? You're going to get this credit card. And if you spend all the money on there, you're going to have to pay it back. And if you don't,
You
each
know-
month it makes
yeah.
your credit worse.
Yeah, so I've never gotten like a retail store credit card,
Okay.
but as soon as right before college, I got my first credit card that was I think the limit was like $1,000, and I wasn't working, right? And it was like my last semester of like college, so I was like, I need to use this money to just focus on school, but that was my excuse,
Mhm.
And so every time the friends invited me out, okay, I got you, I'll
Swipe.
swipe you, here you go,
And
yeah.
it's so easy because
Buffalo
it's
Wild Wings, all
Yeah.
right, and all of a sudden your credit card is at like $1,000, and I don't have a job, I'm still in school, and all of a sudden I get a message saying that, hey, we actually increased your credit
Limit.
your credit
Ooh.
limit to 2,500, and I was like,
No
oh,
way.
okay, time to rack it up again.
Mm.
But the hard part is not swiping it; it's paying it back.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's
Luckily, I got a sign-on bonus when I started working,
okay.
and I paid that off. I did come out with student loan debt, which debatably, like I would say, it's a debate that goes on whether, it goes back to that like school's a scam kind of thing, because there's
Okay.
like so much stuff that you could learn without having to go to school. And it's like that experience versus paper, diplomas and all that stuff.
And I'm going to say this. I already know Chris got an itch right now just from hearing that, because I know Chris, was really good in school, good grades, and,
Well,
everything.
look, when it comes to like STEM pathways, I believe that college is essential in a sense for the most part, because at the end of the day, you want somebody highly trained, especially when it comes to your life. I don't want a doctor that just got a degree from YouTube University on how to do heart surgery, or like a respiratory therapist, right?
Yeah.
Technician, to go, literally like he's connecting his clients to machines that will, keep them alive or keep them stable. You don't want somebody from YouTube doing that.
So that's
My-
where
my- yeah.
I say, like, if you're not going to be a lawyer or a doctor
Engineer.
or a nurse or something
Yeah.
like that, like, you don't need to.
Lawyer.
And actually, even
Yeah.
engineer, I would say, like, I know some engineers that didn't, like, software engineers that didn't go to college.
Okay,
and
I'm talking more like civil engineer.
Yeah, like
more
architects and stuff like that.
architects.
Yeah, that's true.
That would
Um,
be.
But I think this is the thing, though. Most people go to school and they put so much pressure on them from a young age. They're in 5th grade, middle school, high school, and they're like, hey, what are you going to be? Where are you going to go? Which college? Hey, go check these colleges out. And the truth is, they get in debt, and by the time they try that job, they get that diploma, try that job, and then they realize, hey, I don't even like this industry. I know so many people that have literally gone to school for years and they're not even working in that same industry.
So I agree with that, because you go into college and you're doing science, math, biology, English, nothing in what you want to study, but eventually those English classes and like the few classes that you take that are going to give you the degree and the job that you want, that's like at the end of it. That's after you did all this stuff.
Yeah.
So you don't even know if you're going to like that until like 3 years into
Yeah.
school,
That-
you know, which is like already, let's say like $30,000-$40,000 of debt that you accumulated.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
say,
just school.
yeah.
Crazy.
Like I believe private schools are great, you know. It's wealthy people and they teach you, hey, this is how to make money, and they talk about other things that public schools don't offer. You know, public schools don't teach you about hey, taxes, hey, credit, hey, this
taxes,
is how you could
crazy.
qualify for a home, don't buy a car. You know, before buying a home, like these are things that should be essential that everybody should know, so we can start off good because you're young and you're healthy and you can make good choices and get somewhere in life, because that could really set you back in
That
life.
could
I know
make or
people
break you, yeah.
like I know this one girl, I'm not going to say any names, but she literally
Name
went
drop.
to school, and right now currently she's working at a bank. And she hates her job. And she's like, hey, I'm so stressed. Like, I'm starting school again this year. And I'm like, you don't even like what you're going for psychology. You don't even like psychology. Why are you going back to school? And she says, because either I have to repay that money back now if I stop going, or I have to take the classes now. So in order for her not to have to pay that money, she has to go to school. And so she's like, and if I'm already going to go and I'm already going to have to pay for it, I might as well get my money's worth. And I'm like,
Doesn't
that
make
just
sense.
doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
You're so
type
good.
shit.
Your life is so stressful right now. Like, you don't even want to keep working at the bank.
And look at other countries and that college system, they don't have that. Like, it's straight into what you're going to go for. You know, like, for example, my wife, she's a doctor. In Mexico, she got out of high school, prepa, and straight into studying medicine. You know,
Yeah.
like, you don't do that English, you don't do this and that. You do take classes that kind of help you, you know, advance in that career. But it's not like, you know, 3 years of English.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I feel like in
That's
other
a lot of
countries, it's like
money.
they're even more advanced. Like they're
In a
already
way,
taking trigonometry. Like even in middle school, like in la secu, they already know.
I feel like in a
trigonometry.
lot of ways too, because like if you look at, this is like getting like out of
It's okay.
the topic,
Going
you know?
going
This is
down
good,
a rabbit
though.
hole.
This is good.
It's like a rabbit hole. Yeah, you go into like all these like different things. But I listened to this podcast where they were mentioning a lot of like the food that we eat here versus the food that people eat other places, and like not just the food itself, but like
Yes.
what they put in it, the preservatives, the pesticides.
Yes.
Crazy.
You
and
know-
you're like,
The
why?
additives,
You know why,
all
though?
the
Exactly.
So I'm going to
flavors.
tell you guys, and this is personal experience. I've gone to
Okay.
Mexico, and I'm not going to lie, guys. I eat. Like,
And you lose
I
weight?
eat. Yeah, and then I'm all
Yeah.
flaquita, and I'm like, wow, like, I ate
Yeah.
4 tortas y tacos y todo. But you know why, though? Because when they make the food, everything is freshly made.
Exactly.
So
Organic.
they got the carne y habían matado la vaca, you know? And then they make las tortillas a mano. Aquí, like, they make tortillas and they put so much preservative so it can last a long time. That's horrible on your body.
And that
You know,
trans
so-
fat, I don't. Yeah,
Dude,
probably
yeah.
nothing good.
Like, what even is that?
Something scary, spooky.
But but
In a way, that's a worse story. You know, like we're eating all this
Eating
nasty
trans
stuff.
fat?
yeah, but honestly, yeah, that is really bad, you know? Okay. So
Back to-
shifting back. So we were talking about school, about debt. So
Scary.
what do you think someone should do when they get out of school?
When they get out of school.
What do you think?
So
I mean, I'll tell you what. You know, I think.
What do you think,
Um,
Chris?
So if they're depending on the degree, because sometimes it's a little BS degree. So because like what I tell people is that I got a art degree in business. So it like there's a difference between art degrees and there's what's the other one?
liberal.
No, that's the liberal arts, and then there's the other degree. That's how you know I don't have the other degree.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, so there's like an art degree, and then there's like a law degree. No.
Art? What do you mean?
So
like
yeah, there's
like
the
an
liberal
associate's
arts.
bachelor's or
So that's just like the how many
Level?
years you went.
Yeah.
Yeah, the level. Like there's, anyways. So, like what I tell people in my plan was this. Like if I told people if I were to get somebody pregnant during like college or like after college, I could, since I have that college degree, I could go into the Navy or into like any military branch and basically be an officer or like a higher ranked person in the military.
Okay.
So like that's what I recommend a lot of people do. Like if they're gonna, if they're just kind of dabbling, they don't know what to do. Like yes, get a degree and think about the military, because the military has so many benefits for people. Like I didn't do it because like, well, first I broke my ankle. They didn't accept
You have
cripples
asthma,
like me.
Maybe
My
not.
asthma, my asthma's crazy, bro.
You have asthma?
No,
Oh.
Rudy.
But-
I thought you had asthma.
So
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Chris.
Okay.
I do believe that the people who serve is because they're passionate about it. They love what they do. But I wouldn't say so much for the money, because if you're recommending people to go into the military because they don't know what to do with their life, you know how much someone in the military makes a year? An
Well-
officer.
I feel like
but now I don't know,
Even-
but I know they get started like from
a lot of the buddies from my job.
Give
they,
an estimate.
They were in the military,
Let me look it up.
and so
Look it up.
they got their
And-
GI Bill. They got school paid for, which is good.
So
And then they still get, they're disabled, so they get a certain amount of money, even outside, plus what they're getting paid at the job. And the more years you spend there, I believe it's like the more you get.
Yeah.
And I am an advocate to like join the military. That's one of the things that like, if I were younger, I wish I would have gone to the military, because I feel like it teaches you a lot of other stuff other than just like the financial, like, the discipline. Like nowadays, if you look at people, they're not disciplined. They're not willing to, wake up and put in the work. And I feel like that's something that is slowly like going away.
So, according to Zip Recruiter, they're starting off at $22K, but I know that's like off of boot camp. Like they're training in boot camp. So they're getting.
I saw a video. Well, it's because my little brother, one random day, his girlfriend is going to the military, and one random day he said he spoke to like a someone from the military, right?
Yeah, like
a
the
recruiter,
recruiters,
yeah.
yeah.
And basically they convinced him, and they said, hey, like you should join the military. You're young, you're strong, and so he wanted to sign up. I think it's good when you're young. He did tell me, hey, I'm not doing anything with my life right now. He's like, I'm lost. Like, I'm not really making that much money, and like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And I do believe that we need people who are in the military, but I'm also going to tell you this. If it's for money, the military is not the place to go, because they make under 30K. Probably in someone at the highest rank that's been there like 6 years probably makes like 32K. They make like 1,200 al mes o $2,000 al mes.
I
Look
think
it
that
up.
depends what you're doing.
It's well,
Because like if you're a medic, you're not getting paid the same as a mechanic.
Well, look,
That's
see,
10
like,
years
there's
in
just
there.
different ranks, and like it depends on how fast you upgrade, but like you're
And like infantry,
yeah. See,
and
once
like the branch and all
see
that
like
stuff.
an 01, like 93K, assigned.
but put up. Okay,
And what
ponlo
about
al
the people that get
mes.
the Hellcats? Plus,
Yeah, Hellcat.
plus,
You get the
So,
Hellcat.
so I'm not sure. I'm just telling you
It's like
guys.
a bonus of a
I saw a
Hellcat.
couple videos because I was intrigued because my little brother wanted to do it. Of course, I'm gonna, have his back. But I was looking that the pay is very, very low for
32
people
is kind of crazy.
in the
I don't- For
military.
6 years is like
I
in
think
order.
Es
Like
al-
my
es
sister,
al
my
mes
sister's in the Navy.
empezando.
My sister's in the Navy, and she wants to make a career out of it, and she says like easily it's a 6-figure job. Like her position is like close to that already, and
What-
she has like about 5 years. So
Okay.
I think she's already breaking 6 figures with her husband too, and well, yeah, 30. I don't know, 30.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you guys.
Like
yo
you have
estaba
to,
mirando
you have
los
to be like
números.
really dumb and be like just doing
Well, I
really
saw
dumb
that
shit
it
in the
was like
military
the
to not
starting.
get upgraded.
Yeah.
Because they'll de-rank you if you like act up or you don't do your job right. They'll de-rank you or they won't move you up. So you have to be kind of trying not to make money
Grow.
at that. Grow
I don't
in
know,
the
guys.
military.
I truly.
I do agree that you shouldn't get into the
Like-
military just for the money. Like,
Yeah, like
You're
if there's
risking your
different
life.
if there's
Yeah.
different avenues, for sure pursue them. But if you're still kind of not knowing what to do, you're like, hey, I need discipline in my life. I need,
But-
somebody.
But discipline doesn't come when someone forces you to do it. Like you could make yourself disciplined. You don't
Well,
I
need
feel
someone
like that's
to.
hard. I feel
No,
like that's hard. Because
Don't say
I'll tell you
that's
this.
hard.
I have some friends that they. No, never mind. I was gonna
Type
say
shit.
that was like-
Type
Yeah,
shit.
we're gonna say
You
no
could-
names in
oh.
here.
No, I don't think so.
No.
because it's person per person. I'll tell you this.
It
My
varies.
dad disciplined me like a lot. Like Sunday mornings, I was up at 6 in the morning mowing the lawn because he made me do that, you know? And now, like, you know, I'm like, okay, you know what? I know the consequences of not doing something, you know, versus somebody that doesn't have that like past like disciplining. Like, for example, if you grew up without a dad, it's like statistically like you're more of a criminal, like you're lazier. It's stuff like that, and that's like known stuff that happens, you know.
I could see that. I mean, my parents were
Yeah.
they would always make me clean up the house, clean up my room. It's like, hey, do your clothes. Hey, do this. Hey, do your homework.
And if you don't have that like figure or like that like moral compass in a way to, you know, get you up and like, make you do stuff when you don't want to do it, you yourself, I feel like unless you're in a really really bad situation, you're not gonna do it.
Yep. And
You
then
know what
I
mean?
think it's tough though, but nobody's gonna come save you but
Exactly.
yourself.
At the
You
end of
know,
the day,
like
it's up to you.
nobody can force you to do anything.
Yeah.
Like my parents were never strict at all. You know, I always got
Mm-hmm.
to do whatever I wanted, and I was very rebellious. But I believe that's what at some point made me hit rock bottom and say, you know what, I don't want this life anymore. You know what? I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to start reading books and doing other things. I think mucha gente, like, they just don't want to grow, or they just don't want to change. They're like, oh, I need to,
Comfortable. They're-
yeah, you know,
They're
like,
comfortable.
oh, I need to go to the military so they can teach me how to be disciplined. I don't think they need to teach you. Like, that's something that if you have to clean your room so you don't live like a little marranito, like, yeah, you have to discipline yourself and say, wow, like, maybe I want to have a girlfriend. Maybe she should come over, you know, maybe I should clean up my mess. I just think that's something, guys, that you have to take initiative. You have to take initiative, and you have to make those choices. Because that's going to the military, that's like 2 years, 4 years, 6 years of your life that you're not going to get back. You know, something I told my little brother is like, hey, I support you, I love you. And I think that's very courageous, because not just anyone would, you know, risk their life like that, you know, for their service. But I did tell him, like, I know you feel behind in life now, but what's going to happen when you go to the military, you know, 4 6 years, and you come back,
You're gonna be in
you
the
don't
same
have a
spot,
job, yeah, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, you don't know how it is to just live a normal life anymore. You're starting from zero. And,
Yeah.
you know, I've never been in the military, so this is, obviously, I'm not speaking from experience, but it is scary, because that is my little brother, and I love him,
Yeah.
you know? I'm like, like, I don't really want you
Look,
to.
it's that military life. And I could honestly speak from it because my sister's in it, and right now she's stationed at Virginia at Norfolk, and we got an Airbnb when we went to go visit her, and the person we got the Airbnb from was ex-Navy. So a lot of people from the Navy, they go to Virginia because that market is growing, and the home prices are just like affordable to start picking up those houses, remodeling them, and then Airbnbing them or renting them out. And there's a lot of people that do that, and that's like that state or that part of the state is known for that, for a lot of Navy people coming in there and just getting into real estate. But I feel like it's like the military is like, you know, like just college. Like, it's a good way to network, learn something, get some money in between, but it's really what you do in there too. Because if you don't have a game plan, and like you said, there's a lot of people that don't, you know, they kind of waste their life in the military just drinking, like, you know, messing around. But there's other people that, you know, really get their shit in order, and they're like, okay, the military helped me out. Now it's a new, like, now I'm ready
New
for this
chapter,
new
yeah.
chapter of my life. And that's when, you know, they can kind of go, you know, piggyback off of it, off something else. But it's just, you know,
It's so
everybody's
scary,
journey.
You know?
everybody's journey. I know
Makes me
you're,
so scared, you
and
know,
everybody's
because-
different. Because I mean, there's, you know, people like you said, you hit rock bottom. Some people need to hit rock bottom to understand, hey, my life is fucked up. But then there's other people where I'm like learning off of other people, and I'm like, do I really want to hit rock bottom like my, you know, like my brother, or like this person, or a friend, or, you know, like hearing your stories, your horror stories? I'm like, hell no.
But there's just so many opportunities out there, guys.
There
you
is,
know,
and people are not. They didn't grow up with that, so, you know,
With opportunities,
with
though?
opportunities or knowing of opportunities. So, you know, the military is the easiest thing because, you know, it's there. There's recruiters. So people, young guys, gals, they take that opportunity because that's all that's offered to them. That's all they know. And as they grow in life and meet new people, go to different states, they start to see like, oh, hey, there's other people doing this in the military, or hey, there's people doing this in Hawaii and different parts of where they're stationed, or Japan. So it's a good avenue to travel, see the world, and really see what other people are doing.
Well, with like connections to like the question, like what do you recommend people do outside after school?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in anything that you do, you should always have the idea to start your own business with that, because you could go to school for art, or like how they make jokes like, oh yeah, I want to go study history, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you get out of that and you become a teacher, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, like if you're trying to grow, if like being free financially and like being free in all other aspects, being a teacher isn't going to really do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're a historian and like you start a YouTube channel that you're teaching people, or you collect books and you educate
smart.
people on that, and you sell a course that teaches people about the Roman history and stuff like that, that at that point, like you're probably making more than a lawyer, more than a doctor, you know? Or if you study art, right? You go out and like, where do they work? Like, I've never, my sister,
Art
she
teacher
was like
in-
doing,
in
you know
high
what I mean?
school,
So
and
it's the same thing.
you gotta
But if you study
yeah.
a specific art, right, then a museum hires you, and then you get educated on that, and then you start buying pieces of art that are worth, at that point, like, but the goal is to always, like, be your own boss. No matter what you do, eventually you have the goal to be your own boss. If you're going to be a doctor, go open up your own practice. You're going to make a lot more than just working in a hospital.
For someone.
If you're going to be a lawyer, open up your own firm. If you're going to be a car salesman, open up your own dealership, right? There's a guy that I follow. He went to the military, and he was a Green Beret, and he got out, and he said that he was like lost, like that's like 13 years or something like that in the military, and like plus all the stuff they see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you come into like civilian world, and you're like, dude, like what do I do now?
You're
like,
lost.
Yeah, but what he did was he started a business teaching people how to like defend themselves, like in any way, like shooting guns, hand to hand combat. They go to the mountains and teach you how to like survive off the woods,
the
and
land.
stuff like that. Yeah.
That's
So it's like
cool.
anything like that, like whatever it is that you're doing right now, always have like the end goal be that you're gonna be your own boss, that nobody's gonna be above you, and that you're gonna be the one that calls the shots, because there's no point of you doing something for somebody else, because you're making them live your dream at that point.
Yeah,
Like,
You know something crazy though, Rudy?
What's crazy?
I don't believe everyone should be a business owner.
That's
I
true.
do believe a lot of people should just be 9 to 5, clock in, clock out, go home.
CEO type shit.
There is a lot of people that truly don't care to grow. So have you guys ever heard of something called DISC? You guys probably have. I'm pretty sure you
the personality test.
I believe in it very well. Have you heard of it?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I
So-
feel like there's a lot of.
Okay, so I can't remember all of them, but I remember like D, dominance, I is influence, S is, well, basically I'll explain it a little bit more. So D, basically it's people who have a very strong personality, usually business owners, usually high energy, strong personality. They go into a bank, boom, they go straight to the cash register and ask for money or whatever they need, right? There's the I, which is also influence. Usually they dress nice bright colors, they're friendly.
Call me ID.
At a job, they're the ones that are like, talking to everyone at the coffee table and just very outgoing, right? Love to be seen. Now there's the S. S is like,
S on
it's
my
very
chest.
similar
S
to
on
like
my
comfort.
chest.
Basically, it's like, hey, they like to dress low, like comfy all the time, maybe like tennis shoes. They don't care to compete. They don't care to be the best.
Like
they don't
stand
care
out,
to
kinda.
like really grow. Yeah, like they just kind of want to, just do their job more than anything. They like more like quality rather than quantity. They're more like introverts or more reserved. And then there's the C. C is more like the I would say
quantitative,
the very like
logistic people.
yes,
Very.
they just want
okay.
facts. Like, just tell me exactly how many pennies I'm gonna have in this much time. Like, I want to know exactly and
Numbers,
how long can I do
statistics.
this. Yeah, show me this. You
Oh,
know,
some
maybe
bars.
they comb themselves good in the front. They have a little gallito in the back. They just want to know all the facts. You know, and so what I learned from DISC is not everyone is born to be a business owner, but I will tell you this: everyone should always grow. Because in life, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Preach.
And so it doesn't matter, if you are a business owner or not, you still need to have some type of like goals in your life. You can't go through life just, like, oh no, this is my life. Hopefully it's not over tomorrow, because I'll boohoo, so sorry for me. No, like it doesn't matter what you do. Go out there and do a good job at it.
I feel like that's also that's like, one of the biggest regrets I would have, when I'm older, is never meeting, my fullest like potential. You know what I mean? Like, like if I never had abs, like, and I'm old, I'm 50, and I'm like, damn, I wish I knew what I look like with abs.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, shoot, I wish I had enough money to where my grandkids now didn't have to worry about money, or shoot, they're homeless now, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my biggest regret would be like not knowing the highest version of myself, the greatest version of myself.
Wow.
And I
That's
feel like
deep.
that would be like something scary that people do live with,
Yeah.
like they're
Yeah.
like, I messed around in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and now I'm 50 and I'm like still trying
Scared.
to figure out who I am. Like that's
No, take all the risks that you can take. That's why, something that I love to teach my little sister, she just turned 9, is fail as much as possible. Why? Because the more you fail, the more comfortable you get with failure. And the more comfortable you get, you actually get to do everything you wanted in life. Who cares if you messed up? Like, at the end of the day, at least you gave it a shot. Who cares if you lost that contest or if you look dumb wearing this or doing that? Like, at least you took the chance. The worst feeling is that regret feeling. I don't know about you guys, but I felt it before and it's horrible. Like, when you just quit, when you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, and you're so close to the finish line, and then you doubt yourself and then you quit. And then you're like, well, I'm just a loser. I'm a loser. I don't know. Have you guys ever gone through anything like that?
Well,
Or
always,
is it
but
just
I almost gone through that with college, cause I was like right there, last class. It was like an online class. I totally forgot about it, and it was just like halfway through the semester. I reached out to my professor. I'm like, I totally forgot about this class. I missed like half of the assignments. He was like, you can't make those up, but you need A's on the rest of them. So for a whole half semester was like 2 months. I was just on
Walking on faith.
fucking grind mode. Like, yeah, just like this. I'm dedicated. Because I was just like, well, for one class, I'm not going to have a college degree. Like, I went, 4 years for this. And then there was moments where, like, nah, like the final assignment, I'm like, nah, this is too much. And then, like, my friend at the time, he was like, you could do it, bro. He would call me Mother Fluffy. He like, you Mother Fluffy.
Aw.
You could finish. And, yeah, he went to my graduation and everything. But I'm curious what our audience has to say about people being like business owners. Should everyone be a business owner? I don't know. Leave it
Comment below.
comment below. But yeah, that's
I don't know, but I've definitely been in
that
that
would have sucked. But
position many,
yeah.
many times in my life, and
where you just quit? Okay.
yeah, I was really big. Like, if something was scary, I'm like, that's it. I'm not going. Guys, I remember one time I had like una pasarela, and basically it was for like Miss Colorado or whatever, and I was competing, and there was like 8 other beautiful girls, and it was really fun, and I would go walk. I went to all the trainings, and we gave a lot of gifts a los niños and everything. It was really fun. Was there for like, I don't know, a couple months, and then the last day I had to show up, I just flaked. I didn't let nobody know. I just didn't show up. Yeah, I was so irresponsible. Like, I was like, dang, I built all these connections, and now they hate me, and I'm just not even going to let them know. And then, especially because we had, like, teams. We had to do some things in teams, and I let my partner down. Yeah,
That's
honestly, that
crazy.
is, like, one of the worst things that, up to this day, I just regret it so much, because now I'm just like, hey, who cares if you don't win, or who cares if you say the wrong thing? At the end of the day, at least you tried. And at least, hey, I gave it my all, and if I failed, pues ni modo. But just having that in the back of my head and my heart, just knowing like, dang, I let all my team down. Everybody showed up but me, So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's why you got to take those opportunities all the time.
Oof. No, yeah. I remember like at the start of my career, I would like schedule so many appointments or like that just I would just say the wrong stuff, or I'd just be like so embarrassed. Just I was like, is my face red? Like, this kind of sucks. I'm like, please kill me. Or even closings where, just I've messed up the name. Like I remember the first ever closing, I put his Facebook name on the closing docs. So then we like the title
What was the
company has.
Facebook name?
It was like Oswaldo or something, bro. Instead of Osvaldo, I put Oswaldo.
Damn.
And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, I'm telling you, just like things like that. And it was just so embarrassing just sitting in that,
You're
closing
like-
table. And I'm like, oh, shoot, they have to redraft all the documents. We have to sign,
And you knew
agreements.
Before they even.
He knew. He knew it was going to have to get re-signed.
Because he told me, he was like, hey, man, and then also just like my name, it's kind of messed up. And I just totally forgot
You're
about
like-
it. So it was even worse because he told me like before like closing, so we could make the name change. And throughout the whole transaction, I just fucking blew it. I was just so worried about like everything else going right
Yeah.
that I was
So
like,
you
all right, the name
neglect
thing,
other stuff.
we could just fix it later. And closing table, like damn, an hour.
You're like,
They had to wait an hour. So.
Yeah, but this, he's a lifelong buddy of mine now, and we still talk to this day, and it's just funny now. And he's like, yeah, I remember the first closing. You're like, yeah,
you're like, oh,
I
sorry.
learned lots. Yeah,
You learn.
and at the time
It's
it's like
never a
it's
loss, it's
scary.
always a lesson,
Yeah, and it's
right?
now it's a lesson. It's funny now. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
that was-
Once you make those mistakes, I don't think you make them again.
No.
Because you're just very careful now. Because you're like, oh gosh, that was so embarrassing.
Oh, well, so definitely a horror story, but funny now.
Dang, we didn't even get to talk about horse race. How long?
Well, that
have
was
we
one.
been-
That was with also
Wow,
with,
guys.
Yeah.
This is wild. Ya todo el tiempo y ni hicimos. Oye,
I know,
todos,
we did
you
like
in your
one whole-
banana suit and everything.
it's
we
a good
didn't even do-
conversation. It's a
Yeah,
good
it was just
conversation.
flowing.
we
Okay.
should have.
Give
I
a real
mean,
horror story. Scary
real-
story. Yeah.
scary story.
Like a real one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like shit going
Like,
south.
like from like
Like,
Mexico
so
stories?
whatever, yeah.
I feel like Chris might have some.
I mean, I'll see
No.
if I like
No,
that.
yo
I'm a
creo
goody
tú.
two-shoes.
Tú
Yeah,
de
you
seguro
know.
tienes-
Horror movie?
Yeah, I'm
Scary?
sure you know like some horror stories from like Mexico.
I mean, I
Oh, my wife.
almost became a dad.
Okay, let's hear. Okay. Hey, that was the scariest one. All right,
So my wife.
More than once.
that's wild, Chris.
My wife, she when we were dating, we did long distance for a little bit, and she would always send me videos of like the hospitals where she worked, and they looked abandoned. Like bathrooms look like just.
Like
Yeah, I'll
a
see if I
horror
find it. I'll
story.
add it to the video, but it just looked like a horror movie. And like she would tell me stories about like patients saying like, "Hey, when is that little kid gonna come again to visit and stuff?"
And
like
you're
that.
like, what little kid?
Yeah, and
"What
she'd be like,
little
"What
kid?"
the hell?" Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like it's a conversation that me and my wife always have is like, how come like stuff like that always happens to people that look for that versus like me, like I
Ooh.
believe in all that and see
Okay.
that, but I've never seen like
Okay.
a ghost. I've never seen.
So I heard this from one of my favorites on YouTube. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want to get canceled. But
Name drop.
check this out.
Oh, I know who.
If you stay in a haunted house, okay, and there's two people that stay there, one who believes in ghosts and one who doesn't. Okay, the
That's
person I know
I
you
think I've heard this one. Yeah.
Okay, the
Yeah.
one who believes in ghosts,
I heard it.
okay, in the middle of the night, wakes up and hears a noise. And he's like, oh my God,
It's
they're
a
coming
ghost.
after me. Who
Yeah.
is that? Oh gosh, I hear the windows, everything, right? And he's panicked and he's for sure hearing something. Now, the guy in the bottom also hears that same noise, but you know what he says?
He's like, "Oh, it's a rat."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on. Like, it's probably just a branch out there. Like, bro, let me get some sleep. Goes back to sleep,
Yeah.
doesn't even care. So I do believe that the more you believe in it, the more you attract those things. And if you don't believe in it, no se te aparecen cosas. Look, I'm going to be straight up. I do believe there is good and there is bad out there.
Yeah, and
It's
there's a
just
spiritual
there's
realm,
a
right?
there's a lot like it's
Mhm.
we just know, you know. I just know like if there's good, I've seen a lot of miracles. I've seen a lot of things happen throughout my life, and I just know that there is bad things out there too. And I think that there's ways that we've heard that people can attract it. Here in the United States, they say, "Oh, ghost, oh, demons," right? In Mexico, it's like, "Oh, brujeria, oh, brujos, brujeria." What else? You know, like
Chupacabra.
they believe in different things and different myths, but at the end of the day, we know, like, hey, there's something out there. I don't know what it is. You know,
El
it could
cucuy.
be energy or it could be whatever you want to call it. We just know there's good and there's
Yeah.
bad. And me personally, I'm just not gonna put myself in a position to be scared. Like I'm not gonna sit in front of my mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times. I don't care if it's
Go
my
hang out
house
in the cemetery
or
at
Chris's
night,
house. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna do that. You know,
Yeah.
like is it true? I don't know. Have I tried it? No. Will I ever try it? Ever.
And drugs don't help either, cause
You know, I've even thought about it. Like when I was young, I was like, "What if I do it at someone else's house?" And I'm like, "Nah, cause what if me siga mi casa?" You know, like I just don't want to.
Dang.
So
That's true.
I do believe there is out there, but I do believe you shouldn't put all your energy
It's yeah.
towards it. You know, cause
preach. You know?
el que busca encuentra y yo soy bien
Siempre.
miedosa. Like yo no quiero encontrar nada. TBH.
You, Chris, you got a scary story.
I know
I've
you do.
I've
Other
heard
than almost being a dad.
I've heard noises like like you know somebody talking
No.
to me, but I was
Just
under the
schizophrenia,
influence of
bro.
drugs.
Have oh guys, se les ha subido el muertito?
Oh, like when you. Oh no, you know what?
It's
Something
true.
scary
It's
I actually
true.
did in my old job at the. I was a custodial engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, AKA janitor, for those people at home. So they moved me to the police administration building, and this building holds basically the detectives of Denver. But it's an old building. It's it's been it looks bad. It doesn't look the cleanest. I made it the cleanest because your boy was a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
janitor.
Yeah.
You know, but so I had so much free time. I had like about maybe 3 to 4 hours every day of just free time of lunch. You could go out, do my
You
homework.
were paid? I mean, they knew.
Well, as long as I did my job and I kept my floor clean,
Wow.
they let me do it.
You kept the floor the cleanest, so they
The
didn't care.
cleanest. So
All right.
I had so much free time and I got bored. So then I was like, I'm gonna just take naps. And I couldn't take naps because people were passing by, all the detectives, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm sleeping here,
Everybody
So
get some sleep around
yeah. So then I started like listening to like frequencies of on YouTube, like sleeping frequencies
right.
and all that stuff, vibrations, and it started to help. And like I would have lucid dreams. So like dreams
Oh,
where
I
so
like that.
where I could control it. And it was pretty cool. And I'm like, hey, well, if I could do this, like, can I also get out of my body? Like, I've heard of, where did I hear? Insidious. Insidious is the movie
What?
where they astral project, where they
Oh,
get
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that, right?
Why would
When
you try that?
why am I saying that?
No, I said, why would you try that?
I was bored. I had
And
free
then?
time. I had so much time.
Y luego?
So then that's when I started researching on how to do it, like putting the right frequencies, and I started doing it. And then I started going, like, it was crazy because, like, at one point I was in a dream within a dream. But it felt kind of real. Or, like, I was in the building on my floor, but it looked really bad. It looked dark and disgusting, and you just feel like some presence are looking at you. And at one point I felt like I was getting chased. So because I was trying to like get out of the building too, but I was like, what if I just don't come back? And I felt like I was
so
being
you
chased.
knew you had to come.
So I
you had to come
ran back to my little closet. I went back to my body. I'm like, wake up. Before I like, I get into, just paralyzed or something.
Yeah.
But
Can that happen?
I feel like
I mean,
there's been
people say that
cases,
you get
no?
stuck,
Yeah,
right? Like
I mean, I could
astral project
believe.
and then you get stuck.
Yeah, like
I
some
could-
people say that.
I heard me and my wife watched a show where they astral project, and like this lady's like living her life with her husband. Then later you find out that like the husband
Yeah.
or the wife had astral projected years ago with another dude. So it was actually another guy in her body, and she was the guy.
Oh, they traded
Like,
bodies?
Yeah, and like he ended up killing her because he wanted her life and stuff like that.
What?
Dude, it was yeah.
Type shit.
I feel like
So-
I think it's like
might have
Turkish or
seen-
something like that. It's like a.
Was it like
She was
you
like a
could see like
heroin
their
addict.
little like souls, like it was like
Think
blue
so.
or
I think so.
pink? I think
And
I know what you're talking
she
about.
was like a. She was like a heroin addict, and like she kept injecting herself, but it was in reality. It was just
The other guy
was a
that
heroin.
astral project.
Yeah.
So
That is wild.
yeah, that's what happens when you have a lot of free time and you're bored.
Why would you do that? That's wild.
Why would-
I mean, I like
else could I do?
lucid dreaming. I think that's pretty cool because if you can
Yeah.
control your dreams, you're living a whole second life.
Lucid dream,
You
pretty
know?
cool. But
And it's pretty cool. You can control your dreams. You know, you can make yourself fly. You can control what you like or what you don't like. Have you ever done it?
well, yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
At first,
like
I
just
started.
lucid.
Yeah, like I would just lucid dream, like, and I knew I was in the dream, and I would even get in a dream into a dream, but then like I
I
wanted
never
to
got that far.
like
Like,
on some
Inception?
Inception type
Have
shit.
Have
really
you
good.
have you lucid dreamed
I
before?
have, yeah.
Yeah, like
But
you
it's
tried
like-
it.
It's. I feel like not trying. You know, like sometimes all of a sudden, like
It
you're,
just
you're
happens?
like, oh shoot. Like,
Yeah, you're
But
like,
it-
oh
I
man,
was
I'm
you
legit
know-
controlling my dreams.
You
like,
know,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny, but my boyfriend and I, sometimes when we're gonna go to sleep, I'm like, hey, let's lucid dream. Yeah, let's lucid dream, and then we like get together and we just practice it because it's pretty cool. You can actually, there's a way, you can actually force your body to lucid dream. It's like it's a strategy. I would say it on here, but I don't want everybody to copy my strategy.
Her
Look it up. Do
rituals.
your research
Yeah.
if you really like
I
it.
heard that like
Don't
if
try
people
that at
are
home.
constant lucid dreaming, it's always good to like sleep. When you remember what you dreamt of, write it down. Just
Oh,
so that
really?
part of your
Oh
brain,
yeah, I've heard of that
I,
too.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
write your dreams in a notebook, and
Yeah,
you'll
because
keep-
there's like
To
a specific
practice
part
it?
of your brain that like works out, and like you get better at remembering your dreams. And then when you're dreaming,
certain
you
lucid dream
realize
on
that
how
you're
to do
dreaming.
it.
Wow.
So then you can.
So for me, what I learned, I don't really want to give my strategy, but you just have to keep yourself awake when your body falls asleep. So so te acuestas and you have your head up, estás tu cuerpo por arriba, manos derecha, and then you're just like, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep. And at some point, you're gonna feel like your body like twitch or like you get the sensation to move, but you keep
You
telling
get
yourself
itchy.
like, yeah, like, hey, stay awake, stay awake. And then for me, I don't even know why I'm saying this, to be honest. I picture whatever scenario I want to go into, and then at some point I just start
You're just in it.
controlling
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, you could fly from one building to another building. I'm like, quiero llegar allá.
What if we're lucid dreaming right now?
Okay, Chris, this is why.
We're in the
Okay, that was a lot of information. That was a lot.
That was fun though. That was really fun.
Anything you want to end with, Chris? Any questions? you have
Bananas.
for Rudy. How he looks at you. Wow, Chris.
I'm gonna hold my banana.
Oh no,
Shit.
your banana fell?
Banana fist.
What is that?
My banana hat.
Is that the bottom of your banana?
That's the bottom
That's
of banana.
the
You have
hat.
two bananas?
That's mine.
Wow, that
Use
looks
Banana
really
pelada.
cool.
Did you see
Okay.
it?
Wow, I'm not gonna lie, Chris, that looks very
Yeah.
cool.
Let her try it on. Let me see what. Try it
Hugo
on. Try
shouldn't
it.
have to wear the banana.
What you mean, Hugo? You get to wear the banana.
She doesn't
then.
wanna wear the banana.
Hey, turn up.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
Alrighty, Chris, anything you want to end with today?
bananas.
No, no bananas. Anything
More bananas.
else you want to ask?
Well, no, this is and then I think you sent me this video of Steve Jobs giving speech at Harvard University.
That was really cute, huh?
It made me tear up, and what
You
he
should send it
said.
to Rudy.
I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Oh, you
Aw.
seen it? Dude, and then
I think
I
that's like
was
one of the
tearing
most
up
famous
too.
like speeches ever.
yeah, and then like the part that
Isn't
got
like
me the
Ben
most
Sells.
is just trust that the dots are gonna connect. So meaning, like from your past experiences, they're all gonna connect to what you're gonna become in the future. But you just gotta trust that process, and it's very beautiful.
beautiful.
It makes me tear up. I'm like, yeah,
Just the process.
you go future Chris. Trust the process.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, I don't think anybody truly knows what they're doing. I think at some point, things fall into place.
We're
Things
all
fall into
living
place.
life for the first time.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually.
So
Very
we all
nice.
like that's why I feel like it's like nobody really knows exactly how to do it. You know, you can never get it right the first time, so
So-
it's like just day by
Okay,
day.
I have have one last question for you guys. I'm just pretty curious. Do you guys feel your age, or do you
Feel my
guys
age?
or do you
Dude.
guys ever feel like
I feel like I'm
you
like 30
stayed?
right now.
Wow. Or do you
Yeah,
ever
sometimes I
feel
feel like
like
that.
you stayed at a certain age and then like
No,
I don't
I
know.
don't actually.
Really?
Because I had like my stages, where I was a teenager. I didn't care about anything. And then I got to the point where I was like mature, and then just maturing and maturing and maturing and like realizing, okay, you know what, this was important, but this is now more important. So I feel
so
like that
you feel
kinda,
like you grew up?
yeah.
you know-
So I do feel like I grew up, and
Wow.
yeah. But I feel like I don't want to. So there's some days where like I go to work, I come home, and I'm like, damn, like I feel like I'm 40 or something. Like I feel like this
that
is
makes
it.
me
But
sad.
when I do stuff that is like working on the podcast or like
Rejuvenating.
working on like the other stuff
Something
or
new.
learning,
Mhm.
learning, I'm like hell yeah, like
Fuck yeah, brother.
yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
20, I'm 18 again or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but it just depends on like the mood. I feel like it's not. If I'm at home watching a movie, I feel like I'm like
I have so
10
many.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have so many thoughts about that.
What do you think, Chris?
So, look,
'Cause I've always
been-
questioned like
I've been told everything, and then some things that kind of like, trigger me a little bit, or I'm just like annoyed with, is that people always say, "Oh, if guys don't mature by their 25, 26, that means they're never gonna mature. Their prefrontal cortex will never develop." I'm like, I don't like that, because I'm just like, hey, every person is growing, and we're all here learning. So like, and then I just hate that, because I'm like, I really love incorporating a lot of just like, stuff, fun shit when we were young.
yeah.
Just like, and that's the type of shit that makes you feel young again,
Alive.
because it's new. Because when you were young, you were experimenting so many things. You were like going to
growing.
new places, growing, learning new things. So you were always excited. You're like, yeah, let's do this,
Like a
let's do
kid.
that, like a kid. And I always try to bring that to my business. Always
Wow.
try to bring that to my videos, because like at the end of the day, it's a short life. And why am I gonna be mature? And
Wow, you just gave me like 15-year-old vibes. Sorry. No, guys, but
So,
for
yeah.
sure, me personally, I've always told my boyfriend, I've always wanted someone to stay young with, not someone to grow old with. And I love implementing that into my relationship, into my friendships, because really, like, life goes on. And at the end of the day, I think you have to do what makes you happy. You have to.
preach.
But truly, guys, I still feel like I'm probably like 15. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are just already adults. Ya tienen hijos y están casados y todo. And I'm like, dang, like I just have 2 dogs, and like, I get very stressed with them when they make a mess with my toilet paper, or when they like, just mess with my couch or something,
Yeah.
Siento que son como
We
niños.
stay fit. That's why.
Yeah. What?
We stay fit. That's why.
Yeah.
So like somebody, we both. I guess she knows you too, but she says that you've just changed so much since you. And I'm like, I didn't even
You got
notice that
the-
change.
You got the
The
fixed version of myself now.
The fit Jaylene. Yeah,
Yo.
because like people that know you from the past, or even me in the beginning, I didn't even notice the change. Because I mean, we just like work out almost every day.
Oh, but you're saying like physically?
Yeah,
Oh,
physically.
I thought you were talking about mentally. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah.
mentally,
but
of course, too.
You're
But
talking
like,
about. You're talking
even
about.
beginning of the year.
You're talking about physically.
Yeah. And,
Oh yeah.
and
I
me
mean-
too. Like now that I'm going, to the gym with you and hitting the gym how I used to, I feel I'm starting to feel young again. That 20.
Knees don't crack
21
that much.
Know that like I could lift weight. Like today, I was just like doing 3 plates on deadlift, just repping them out, and
Yo.
I'm like, damn, I forgot how empowering this was. Like just training legs, just hard and heavy.
You know something that really helped me with the gym,
Was good.
because I hated the gym. Like when I was young, I was that girl that was like,
Hot
I don't
Cheeto
care
girl.
if everybody. Yeah, I was literally
Hot
like,
Cheeto.
I was like, I don't care if everybody has to run a whole nother lap. I'm walking the mile,
Ooh.
and then everyone's
Hot
like,
Cheeto
come
girl.
on, and I'm like, nope, don't care. And me and my friends walking the whole time, and like truly, I hated exercise, but I believe that last year was the most money I had ever made up to that point, right? And I was like, dang, like, how am I going to make more money this year? How am I going to grow as a person? How am I going to go to that next level, right? What was I missing, and what was my business missing, right? And so I analyzed my life in December, and January 3rd, I was like, you know what? I'm changing my life. I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to be fit. And I was like, I don't know how, because I hate the gym, but I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to read more books. And so I reached out to a friend that I have, and he actually also has his policy with me. And I told him, hey, like, you're super fit. Like, hey, let's train together. He's like, yeah, whenever you want. I think he said it at first, like, joking. But then I actually hit him up to work out. And then, you know, he taught me how to do the exercises. And the beginning stage, I was literally like, oh, my God, I'm going to quit. Just tell me, like, when. Just, you know, like, un día más, un día más, un día más. Until at some point I fell in love with the process, and I was like, no, I'm never going to stop going to the gym. I don't care if my friend doesn't go with me or, you know, whatever happens, I'm still going to show up. So in life, you have to analyze where you're at and what you have to change to become that best version of yourself. Now, since January, guys, I've gone every single week, at least 5 days a week. I go always. And for books, 5 books a month is what I have been reading. So, you know, like, I really do believe that's what took my business to the next level. Now ask yourself, what do you have to do to take your business to the next level? Yeah.
Nice.
All right, guys. Well, that was a lot of information. We didn't get to talk about financial horror stories. We might just have to do
Trick or
another
treat.
one
Yeah,
for that,
I'm
to be
down.
honest.
Different
But
costumes.
you know, we had such a great time with this podcast. Thank you so much for the people who followed us. Make sure to subscribe and
Like,
Um,
follow, share.
we're going to put all of our tags, our information. So make sure to follow us. And what else, Chris?
That's a wrap. Thank you so much.
Stay financially fit, guys.
Stay financially fit, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.